Good evening, welcome back to The Nest. I am your host, Maureen Waititu. It's no different today because we are discussing yet another interesting topic, which is stay-at-home mom and the issues that arise from being a stay-at-home mom. In a perfect society, maybe a woman should do it all. Be mom, be wife, be a successful career woman. But we'll be joined by two guests who are both mothers. One who is a stay-at-home mom and is running a successful business. And the other one is a mental health advocate who is also a mother. And she's here to just remind you that it is okay and what you're doing is fantastic. Before we begin, do watch this short clip and we shall be back with our guests.
Parenting is the process of promoting and supporting the physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. A stay-at-home mom is a woman who stays home and does not go to work outside the house in order to raise and nurture their kids day in and day out. Being a stay-at-home mom could either be by choice or due to unavoidable circumstances. For instance, losing a job, the baby having health complications, and for others, tradition dictates that a woman should stay home as the husband fends for the family. This form of parenting has its advantages. One gets to be fully involved in their child's development, seeing every milestone achieved. You also get to instill good habits and values on your child since you are ever present. A strong bond is also built between the mother and the baby. There are disadvantages to being a stay-at-home mom as well. Loss of identity being one, as all your focus is on being a mom. The other is less socialization, as all your time is dedicated to raising babies, and it could get lonely, especially if the children are younger. The concept of being a stay-at-home mom in Kenya is still relatively new, and society at times tend to look down on stay-at-home moms, some terming them as lazy, while others try to understand why a graduate would opt to stay home rather than apply the skills and knowledge they earned in university. How does a stay-at-home mom support herself financially? Well, today we dive in on this topic and get to understand more about stay-at-home moms.
Welcome back. And now let's meet our wonderful guest, a mother, a writer, and everything that a queen wears. Here she is, and I'll let her introduce herself and for her to tell us what she does.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi, Zara.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Karibu.
It's a privilege.
Thank you.
So, my name is Zahara Jahalkhan, born and bred in Mombasa. And I got married and I moved to Nairobi.
Okay.
And had myself a wonderful son. So I've studied IT professionally, but as time went by, I decided to divulge because I couldn't get employment.
Absolutely.
So I decided to do something on my own. So I decided to start a homemade business dealing with chocolates, so artisanal chocolates. And then I branched out into now confectionery and baked goods.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like quite a handful.
Yes.
And you know, today's topic is all about motherhood,
Yes.
specifically,
Yes.
and motherhood, career, and what makes us as moms choose parenting over our careers until we figure ourselves out.
Yes.
How has your journey been like? How did you end up thinking, well, I have a baby and I'm going to take care of my baby, and at the same time you had the urge of doing something that satisfies you as a woman in terms of something that will bring money to the table and joy to your heart?
Okay, so
Yes.
it all started when I had just finished university and I got married.
Right.
So I went and scouted for a job, but then, you know, Kenyan market.
You tarmac.
So you tarmac, and you don't end up getting something. So
Right.
then I had my child, and I was like, now should I go back to employment,
Right.
or I decide to look after my kid. So I decided for the latter because I was like, I don't want somebody else rearing my kid.
Right.
I want to be there for all my child's milestones.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be there for him.
Right.
By the way, he's 5 years old this year.
Oh, wow.
So
Congratulations.
He's 5-year-old and
Right.
he's a boy.
Uh-huh.
And so I decided to look after him. Now,
Right.
as I was looking after him, you feel that urge that you want to fulfill your goals and everything. You don't want to be left out of the market where the other women, your peers, doing something and achieving something, and you're just left out.
Right.
So I decided to start my own home-based business. And as I was growing up, I always had this urge to bake and cook. I used to do it in university.
Okay, okay.
So I used to bake cakes and I used to sell to my classmates and everyone. So as I became a homemaker, I decided to nurture those talents.
Nice.
So I used to have this knack for looking at these videos where people make chocolate.
Right.
And you see the chocolate pouring and melting, and then they come up with some unique products out of chocolate.
Right.
So I have not gone anywhere to study this. It's all self-taught.
No way.
Yes, all
Okay.
self-taught. So in today's world, we call it University of YouTube.
Isn't it?
Yes, University of YouTube.
It's free and hey,
It's free,
yes.
and you get to learn a lot on your own. You don't need to go and pay somebody
That's
to
the
teach you
thing.
something.
That's the thing.
So I taught myself, and then I decided to invest in the business.
Right.
So I first started buying 3 molds, chocolate molds.
Okay.
And after that, I told my husband, I'm doing this. And he was like, are you sure you're going to do this?
Chocolates.
Is
Yes.
it going to be marketable?
Right.
So I'm like, no, I want to do this. And I put up my mind to it.
Right.
So I started in 2019. And now 2 years down the line, I have almost more than 1,000 followers.
Oh, nice.
Yes, on Instagram.
Okay, okay.
On Facebook also, I have a couple of followers, and I'm yet to grow, and I want to grow it and be able to support other women to do their own businesses.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I think what you're doing is what many other women do not have. And that is the ability to be at home and
To have
drop
the
out
willpower
career.
to do something.
Exactly. Because I know also being a stay-at-home mom comes with a lot of challenges.
Yes.
Believe it or not, people think that being at home with a baby, I'm a mom of 2 as well.
Okay.
And I think our stories are very similar.
Okay.
Same thing, I went to law school. I did my pupillage.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And I became a mom. And one day I woke up and I was like, wait a minute. It's either baby or my career.
Yes, career.
And I wasn't okay. And you know, it's a very demanding career, such that the first 1 year of my firstborn son, I never really got to enjoy him, to see his milestones. And one day I woke up and I
feel like
said,
you've missed out.
enough. Exactly.
Yes.
And it's the best decision I've ever made. Like they say, a child between birth and 5
5
years,
years, that's when
they
they learn
need, exactly. And I'd rather be the one teaching my kids how to be that. And it's the best decision I've ever made. And I feel like with you in your case, there was a lot of support around you.
Yes.
How can, like from your experience, what do you feel was the major place of comfort for you to do what you were doing? Because you've mentioned your hubby.
Yes.
But could you dig a little bit more on
Okay,
that?
so in my support, I would say my husband and my family have been my biggest support.
Wow.
From the beginning only, when I wanted to go and look for a job, you see, my husband is employed.
Yes.
And he's always wanted to do his own thing and be his own boss. So he told me that I do not want to see you in the employment field, because at the end of the day, you're working for someone.
Right.
I want you to go and be your own boss, be independent financially, mentally, physically. So, because I wasted a whole year trying to look for a job, and he's like,
That's the thing.
enough.
That's the thing.
I'd rather you go and spend that effort and that time, regardless of whether you're making money or not. Do what you love, and then eventually make money out of it.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Yes, go
He
on.
has been my biggest support, and then when I started, he invested in my business. He has been how can you say it?
Your number one cheerleader?
Yeah, like he's my Shark Tank to my
yes,
business.
yes.
Yeah. So, and then came my family,
Right.
my siblings, my mother. They've always supported me. They've pushed me to do what they know I'm good at, because they know that you make perfect cakes and they taste really good. And do it, we'll support you. Yeah. So they've always encouraged me.
Right.
And when there are times when I'm down and all that, they're always there. So even last year, I applied for the Bake Off. It's because the Great Kenyan Bake Off.
Yes.
So it's because I had support from them.
Right.
When they first aired in 2019,
yes.
they told me apply for it because you're good at baking.
Right.
And it's normally for amateur bakers, the Great Kenyan Bake Off. So I was like, I don't think I'll manage to do it because I'm pretty sure there are people who are better than me.
Yes.
And they're like, no, do it. And so last year when they were scouting for applicants, they're like, Zara, you better do this because you're good at it.
That's amazing.
And funny enough, out of the 2,000 applicants, I was top 12.
No.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I managed to scout a position in there, and just being there was an achievement.
Look at that. And your entire force believing in you.
Yes. So basically family has been, and my husband, greatest support.
Oh, that's amazing. And I think so
because if you want to start something like this, you need support. That's
it's
the
true.
first thing.
And it has to be from your closest person. Yes. Not necessarily your hubby, but the environment itself
if
has
it's
to
close
be correct.
friends,
Yes.
If it's family members, anyone you're close to.
Yes.
As long as they support you, then you feel like you have the willpower to do it.
Exactly.
If you're alone, believe me, it's
been there.
It's a harsh world out there.
Yes, been there, whereby you come up with this, you tire easily, you doubt yourself, you question yourself. Before you know it, years go by, you've done nothing. And it's unfortunate because most women who I know who are stay-at-home moms, they're very frustrated, they're very depressed.
Of the lack of support.
Yes. And I'm curious, I can see something really nice right in front of me. Is this what you do?
Okay, so my business is called Chocobot.
Chocobot.
Yes.
That's a beautiful name.
So it means doing, okay, so I've learned IT. So a bot,
you are a clever girl.
So I decided to use my IT knowledge to come up with a name. So bot, basically in layman's language, is to do other things too. Multiple things at the same time.
Absolutely.
So making things with chocolate, different kinds of things with chocolate. Okay. So I first started with chocolate. And confectionery. Then I decided to branch out into baked goods. Bread, cakes, cupcakes. So I started just having,
the packaging is to die for.
Okay, so I get these done by somebody, they're handmade. They're called creative crafts. So this is not paid. This is not paid.
No,
but I'm just, I want to help people. So so they make for me my custom made boxes, and then
this is lovely. May I?
Yes. So they're handcrafted, and I always try to put in my artistic side because I'm very artsy into the chocolates. So I hand paint them.
No way.
And I infuse different flavors. So it's not just chocolates, we have chocolates, then we have filled chocolates called truffles.
Oh yeah, truffles. Oh, they're my favorite.
Then we have chocolate bars, which are chocolate shards, and then we have different toppings. So as time goes by, I normally try and introduce something new, so you're not forgotten.
Yes. This is amazing.
Yes.
I'm salivating. Please take it away. I'm trying to lose weight.
Yes. So we have different sizes and packaging. So we start with like 6 pieces. Then
so this is
a 6 piece.
So this is the smallest one you have. Okay.
So 6 piece. Then we have 8. And then we have 12, then we have the jumbo, which is 24. And then we even make larger quantities depending on your order.
Right.
So we custom make them. If you have a theme, if you have a wedding theme, an anniversary, a baby shower, bridal shower, I custom make them for you. So it's not just this, but then we have a range of variety of chocolate products. Then we have now baked goods like cupcakes, cakes, cookies, brownies, if you're a fan.
Okay.
So that's
amazing.
It's Chocobot, capital C space, Choco, then bot with a capital B. That's on Facebook.
Yes.
And on Instagram, it's Chocobot3. Yes.
Wonderful. Really congratulations on all
Thank
this.
you. So I started in
Yes.
2019. And then it was very, actually, if I should say, the challenges of starting a home-based business
Right.
is when you're first starting out, is market reach.
Of course.
You are limited because you know, if you're working, you have the workforce, the staff, and everyone. It's a fully fledged business.
True.
But this, you're limited to your home and the people
yourself
you
and
know,
your
your circle.
Yes.
So it was basically very hard to penetrate into the market.
Right.
So I relied on word of mouth, friends, and then I got to social media. Social media has been my biggest booster.
Yes.
So I basically go onto Facebook, Instagram. And with social media, you have to be consistent.
Right.
You cannot just post today and then come back after a few months and then post again.
True. You have to
people need to know you exist.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. So as a mom, how does your son take this? And
oh my God, my son and chocolates and confectionery.
Yes.
When I'll be sitting there making them, he'll want to come and lick the bowl, lick the spoon.
Yes.
He's my number one fan.
Oh, that is amazing.
He's my
because
number one fan.
you know, again, because we're discussing matters of being stay-at-home mom.
And the reason I
this,
actually wanted to start this is for him.
For him,
you know,
right?
To make something that I'll be able to provide for him.
Exactly. And you know, one day you never know, he'll take up the skill.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be necessarily. Yes.
He actually loves cooking.
Oh, look at that.
He actually loves I think maybe because he watches me.
Yes, of course.
And
kids watch and learn.
Since he was young,
Yes.
as a baby,
Yes,
even a toddler, I used to put on the cooking channels.
Oh,
So he would get engrossed in cooking, in the cooking channel, and I'd be like, okay, this is odd. You're not watching cartoons.
You're making me rethink of so many things.
So he comes there in the kitchen and he wants to help me. If I'm mixing the dough or the batter, he wants to come and mix with me.
Precious.
And I let him, because you know, at that age, the child nurtures the talent.
Absolutely.
You know? So you need to give them as much leeway and provide them with as much. If you see them interested in music, push them towards that, you know, what they're interested in, because you never know in the future.
That's the thing.
What they might
that's all
want
it takes. That's all it takes. And I think it's important for a child to grow up with different skills. And let's not go off the topic, because I'm thinking also in terms of, other than, I feel like this is your escape. As a mom, a stay-at-home mom, your escape is to do what you love.
Yes.
Do you have other forms of self-care that you have when you're tired of making chocolates, when you cannot hear another mommy?
Oh my God.
What do you do when, you know, just to stay sane and stay productive?
Okay, so I recently started working out. I used to do a bit of it at home, but then you do not get your me time at home.
True.
So as an escape mode, like that 1 hour or 2 hours, hit the gym, work out. At least I can be able to keep fit and you know, rejuvenate your mind. You have that me time. Because if you're at home, it's mommy, can I have this?
It's true. All
mommy, can I do this? Mommy, can I do that?
Mommy.
You want to go to, there was this time I was literally in the washroom and he's knocking on the door. I'm like, I'm doing number 2, stop disturbing me.
Oh, let me tell you a story. There's a time I had my kids and a puppy.
Okay.
And every time I try to go to the bathroom, they'd all join me. And all I could say is, my goodness, guys, can I not even have a moment to myself? Right? And at some point I was like, someone has to go. I have 3 children. Well, it wasn't by choice. We moved to an apartment block that doesn't allow pets, and it's in a happy home. However, there's this joke whereby even moms, like sometimes when I wanted to hide, I would go hide in the toilet, because they knew that was my me time. Yes, I take my laptop and literally go hide in there. And when you look down there, you just see little feet. It's like they sniff you out, literally like puppies. Yes, so you work out.
Yes, and then at night, that's my time. When he's gone to bed,
of course,
so it's my me time.
Yes.
Watch anything you want.
Yes.
At least I do that, because I'm like, at least it's my me time. I get to watch and, you know, drain that out. Yeah, that's when I'm free.
Right.
And then listening to music. When I listen to music, it just lifts my
With that,
mood,
I
know.
agree, yes.
It lifts my mood.
Yes.
And then having walks with my husband. So every evening when he comes back from work,
right.
we make a point that we go out for
That
even
is
if it's like a few minutes of a walk, and we talk,
Right.
we exchange if it's an idea or if it's something that we want to come up with, an idea or how our day was,
True.
exchange his
Yes.
his encounter during the day, mine,
right.
our grievances, the things that we, I feel like
yes.
communication and exchanging what
Just ideas, bouncing off ideas.
Yes,
knowing
what
about each
happened
other's
with
day.
you
Yes.
during the day helps lift up that load.
Right.
If I have something that didn't happen the way how I wanted it, I'd
Right.
like pour it out on him.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I feel like those things help, like bring you back to your sanity.
I agree. And again, with your husband and your family, they know you are not a failure per se, because there's a lot of labeling. Let me tell you, I have never stopped hearing about how I gave up law as a career to become a mother. But then I do what I love. If I was a lawyer, I don't think I'd be sitting here hosting such a wonderful show. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing in the community. And at the end of the day, the message out there is let's accept people as they are and make us realize that motherhood is an actual job.
And it's
an
a
actual job,
sacrifice.
and it's a huge sacrifice because sometimes they forget these babies will. I remember when I had to report to work every day. If my son sleeps at 3 a.m., there's no excuse. I still have to show up at the office by 7, 8. No, I'm not going to go and say, hey, sir, my son didn't sleep. In fact, this is what used to happen. He'll come and leave me with a file at 4 p.m. and I'll look at him like, you are joking right now because I need to be out of here in an hour.
Exactly.
And he'd look at me and you'd say, he's going to be fine. So it means that I make that application. I want it on my desk by 9 in the morning. But for you, whatever the case might be, I don't care. Right now, you're my worker. And there's also another article I was reading actually last night, and they were saying that women's productivity in the place of work is obviously lower by a huge percentage.
I attest to that.
Huge percentage. So men increasingly become
better
performers. And anyway, that translates to why maybe women don't get good salaries like men. Why they work sometimes twice as hard as men, because they're expected to show up on time, to totally remember when your baby was a baby. I don't know about you, but most parents, especially moms, whenever their child is young, before they learn how to sleep through the night, you know what they say? I wish I can sleep like a baby. But then there's another joke that goes like, I wish I can sleep like my husband. Because when the baby and I are up, he's snoring and he'll be fine until the following day. He will need breakfast done for him, his clothes laid out for him. And then sometimes you go together, you go to work. Remember who was up the whole night? Obviously, you're not going to be as productive as you should be. And so it translates to a worldwide statistic, like what happened with you. A woman studies, and then by the time they're starting off their career, there's this pressure. Get married, have children, and sometimes they opt to pull back, whereby they say, okay, I'd rather not go in.
They become their career
Exactly.
oriented.
Let me work, and then I can become maybe a career person later. I keep saying, like me, my career is not going anywhere. If I want to go back to law even 20 years from now, I'll go and continue. But what about the man who was working for all these 20 years? So I feel like it can be a very unfair world per se in balancing, but with partners like yours, with a family like yours, it can become a success. Look at you, succeeding in something.
Yes. The minute I walk in the house, I don't know, he sniffs me.
They know.
He knows that his mom is entered. He will become the most dramatic kid.
Right.
He'll come and bug you.
Yes.
He'll tell you he wants something, and he'll now start nagging you.
Yeah.
But all along, whoever he was with at home, no nagging. He was an angel.
I can't believe these children, and they're very clever.
But if I go back to my mom and their generation, we were different children.
Right.
And today's children are not the same as when we were born. Today's children are completely, totally different. That's why my mother-in-law and my parents are like, your children were never like this. If we tell you sit, sit. If we tell you get up, get up. But today's children, tell them to sit.
They say no.
My kid will tell you to your face, no, I don't want to. I don't
Mine
want
too.
to. Or he'll tell you, I want to do this.
Yes.
You tell him don't do it, he'll still go ahead and do it. And he'll look at you, and he'll give you the daring eyes.
Or he'll be like, I told you.
Our generation was totally different from today's generations. But then again, we have parents who, our parents do not like realize that we're juggling a different world. You know? It's a different generation, it's a different world.
True.
They came from a time where women were still not in the industry of working. They were, but it wasn't like a woman actually was appreciated for working.
Absolutely.
In our generation right now is two parents need to be like supportive,
Absolutely.
Financially, emotionally, everything. They have to support each other. For me, it's that ideology where my husband has enabled me to, support him in a different way.
Right.
For another family, it's a different thing where the husband will not, you have to work. I'm sorry, my money alone will not be able to suffice.
To support. And sometimes that's what it takes. It's like, at the end of the day, you look at your career, for instance, you're predisposed to be earning a certain amount of money. You don't have a business head like yours, and that's the only way to go about it. And it's unfortunate because women will always be at a disadvantage. And I think it makes sense why more and more women are opting not to have kids. They just stay as man and wife.
According to statistics, we're having the world right now, women are more into the career-oriented and less into the children.
Exactly.
So we're having more women working and we're having less children. I think maybe in 20 years down the line, we'll have the children gap reducing where we're having only one child in a family or two, and that's it.
And it's happening with time. The less the kids, I mean, it's a personal choice. And in some countries like China, they control. You should only have one child, And when it's said and done, at the end of the day, I think there's not a perfect way of putting it. It's a personal choice. It's a family choice as well. If there is an option of somebody being, or a woman being a stay-at-home mom, or even a dad being a stay-at-home dad, which is a very controversial topic, right? And the stigma, like say I'm a stay-at-home dad.
And people will look at you.
Exactly. But guess what? It's just because the society has fixated
this
itself.
notion that things are supposed to be this way,
precisely,
and not this way,
and not this other way. Which, again, it's unfortunate, but it's also fortunate that we have such platforms to discuss the way forward. Right. So Zara, as we continue with this, we are going to hear more from somebody else who is going to tell us about the psychological effect that stay-at-home moms have, and maybe you can join her in sharing what you do to wake up every day, feel better, look pretty, take care of yourself, because it is that thing whereby when a mom is at home taking care of the babies, they become so tired.
You lose yourself.
Right, and then you lose yourself. All right, guys, so so far such an interesting topic. It's a very passionate topic. Question for you, would you prefer to be a stay-at-home mom? Would you prefer to be a stay-at-home dad? What are your, thoughts on that? So please feel free to reach us on our social media pages. Meanwhile, we're going on a short break as we bring our expert of the day so that we can talk a bit more on mental health of stay-at-home moms and how they can actually tackle that by breaking their daily routines, and again, what is right and what is wrong in the society, or how we can reach this balance. Keep watching.